this is Steve. Today's story begins with a window. A simple coffee shop window. But behind that glass, something quiet and beautiful happened every morning. The cafe wasn't special, just a small corner place on Maple Street. Wooden tables, an old espresso machine that hissed like a tired dragon, and a smell of roasted coffee that hugged you as soon as you walked in. Every morning, at exactly 8:15, a woman sat by the window. Always the same seat, always the same cup. Black coffee, 2 sugars, no milk. She opened her notebook, clicked her pen, and started to write. Nobody knew her name. The staff called her the writer, not because she published books, but because she seemed to live inside one. The routine of calm. One morning it was raining. The kind of rain that makes people rush under umbrellas, heads down, shoes splashing through puddles. But not her. She sat there calm, her pen dancing across the page. Outside, people ran. Inside, she wrote. There was a peace in her presence, as if she carried her own weather inside her. The world outside could storm and rush, but she stayed still, protected by her focus and her quiet joy. Across the street, a man stood under the bus stop. Every day he passed the cafe on his way to work. And every day he saw her, writing, thinking, smiling. He never went inside. He never said a word. But he always looked. Something about her made his mornings quieter. She was like a living reminder. That peace wasn't something you found. It was something you created. The moment of connection. One Thursday, the rain fell harder. His bus was late. He looked through the glass, and she looked up. For the first time, their eyes met. Just for a second. But that second felt longer than the whole week. He smiled. She smiled back. Then she wrote something in her notebook and turned the page. The bus arrived. He got on. And all day, he couldn't stop thinking about that smile. The next morning, he crossed the street. For the first time, he walked into the cafe. The bell on the door rang softly. She was there. Same seat, same cup. He hesitated, heart racing. Then he ordered a coffee and sat 2 tables away. He didn't speak, just opened his laptop and pretended to type. After a few minutes, she looked up again. Their eyes met once more. This time she laughed quietly and pushed a small piece of paper toward him through the window reflection. He looked down. On the paper were 3 simple words. Nice to see you. the meaning of small moments. They didn't talk much after that. Just smiles through the glass, a wave some mornings, a nod on rainy days. Weeks passed. Seasons changed. And somehow, the coffee shop window became their language. A language made of looks, silence, and warm cups on cold mornings. There was comfort in the routine, a rhythm. He began to realize that happiness didn't always come from excitement. Sometimes it came from stability, from a familiar face, from the quiet knowing that someone is there. Every morning, he stopped expecting big things. He stopped chasing meaning. He just started noticing the steam rising from his cup, the sound of the rain, the way she smiled, the way people slowed down when they passed the window. He learned that peace isn't something you get. It's something you practice. The pause that changes you. One day she wasn't there. Her chair was empty. Her coffee cup was gone. He thought maybe she was late, but she didn't come. Not that day, not the next. The barista noticed too. She hasn't been here all week, he said. The man nodded, but didn't know what to say. He stood outside, watching the reflection of the empty seat in the window. It felt strange. The world moved on, but something was missing. Something small, yet important. For the first time in weeks, he realized that her presence had given shape to his mornings. And now that she was gone, he had to face a truth. He didn't really know her, but he missed her anyway. The lesson hidden in the silence. As days turned into weeks, he kept stopping by that same café. He didn't know why. Maybe it was habit, maybe hope. But over time, he started noticing other things. The old man who fed the pigeons every morning. The girl who always dropped her umbrella. The teenager who laughed too loud. Life was still there. Messy, noisy, beautiful. And he realized something powerful. We don't own moments. We only share them. The writer had taught him presence, without a word. She had reminded him that people don't need to stay forever. To change your life. Sometimes they only need to appear once, and the world feels a little more human after that. The reflection. He still went to the cafe every now and then. Not to wait for her, but to remember what she gave him. That small window became a mirror. He could see himself now. Not rushing, not escaping, just being. He began journaling, writing small notes about what he saw every morning. A sunrise, a stranger's kindness, the smell of rain. and slowly his mornings turned into poetry. He realized that maybe we are all the writer, each of us holding a notebook, writing the story of our lives line by line, smile by smile, moment by moment. Some people are chapters, others are sentences, a few are just commas, but every one of them matters. Closing thoughts. Sometimes we wait for perfect people, perfect love, perfect timing. But life doesn't work like that. It offers imperfect beauty and asks us to notice it. Every stranger, every smile, every small interaction is a piece of something greater. A reminder that we're all connected even when we don't speak. The man by the bus stop didn't lose something that day. He gained awareness, the ability to see beauty in the ordinary. And that is one of the greatest gifts life can give. So next time you pass a cafe window, don't just look. See. Because behind that glass, someone might be writing the story. That will remind you how to live yours. Thank you for listening. This was Simple Stories with Steve. See you next time.